So we'll piss off the neighbors. The place that feels the tears, the place to lose your fears, yeah. He was popping. Oh, you like my dress, do ya? I wore it just for you today. Every week is just for you. Insecure women in relationships. Let's talk about it. Am I one of them? I think I've been one of them. I am one of them. Not anymore though, because I've been single for a long time now. And I'm not doing anything with anyone. So I can't be insecure because I'm single. And I prefer to stay that way, even though I want sex. And I don't want sex without all the love feelings. So I'm just as dry as a washing machine, because washing machines is full of water, but somehow it's dry. Listen, I want to inspire you today to maybe change, because if you're the person that I'm going to be speaking about today, like, we're going to change, like, we need to change, we need to become better. And if you're like a victim of one of these women, then you're going to be more understanding by the time you finish this video. So we just want to help and inspire and change as usual. Usually when I go on the train, I try to like keep myself to myself, because like I have the hardest time in public all the time. So then I'm on the train, but I hate being in public. So then I can't help but let my eyes wander sometimes, because I get bored of like playing solitaire on my phone. So then I just let my eyes wander sometimes, and then I catch somebody and I can't help but start to read them. Like, what type of life do you have? How do you feel? And usually it's written all over their body, everything of how what their character's like and the feelings that they have in their body right now. It's just written all over them, like signs everywhere. Like, this is how I feel. And then I just look at them and I'm just like, try to look away, because I don't really want to invite those energies into my existence. Anyway, so then I saw this one girl and she looked so extremely uncomfortable in her skin, and I think she was sensitive, because like every time I looked at her, she stiffed a little bit more, even though her eyes were like fixed downwards. It's like she could tell that somebody was watching her. And every time I just like watched her for a few seconds, like her body just went even more stiff. And she just looks like so uncomfortable to be in her own skin. Like, she was a little bit slim, very slim. She had like a football outfit on, so she was like sporty. She was a bit young, like maybe she was like 16 or something, 15, 16. And like her body posture, you could just tell that she was extremely uncomfortable to be alive and to be herself and to be in her body. So then I started to like, as much as I could, because I didn't want to make her too uncomfortable, because she could tell that somebody was staring at her, I could just imagine what her life was like to be that way, to be like so uncomfortable, so insecure. Like, I could imagine what her school days would look like and how she would look like when she was walking down the corridors with this like extreme uncomfortableness of being who she is. And she had her hair tied back in one, and I went into deep thought there, because I'm thinking like, who's responsible for her behaving that way? Is it like her parents that did like a particular type of upbringing? Is that why she's the way she is? But then my son, he's a little bit timid as well, but he also is not timid. Like, he has a side to him that he's a bit of a rebel, and he tries to like dominate me and like throw me around sometimes, and he tries to like wrestle me, and he tries to like pick at me sometimes, like to wind me up and stuff. So we do have like this playful side, but he also is like, when we're in public and he gets uncomfortable, like he completely hunches his back and puts his hair all over his face, and he just doesn't want to exist. And it's like, but I'm not like that. Am I like that? Maybe in a sense I am like that, but there's a reason why I'm like that, because my childhood was filled with a lot of like, you're ugly, you're a monster, you're no good, and you're so rubbish at everything. Like, my childhood was filled with that in the most important ways. And actually my parents didn't, I don't know if they were scared to, but they didn't really build me up and give me all the confidence in the world and tell me how amazing I was. And I think that they were trying to keep me humble, because they were scared that I was going to turn out to be some type of like diva who thought that the world owed her everything. So then they kept all of the compliments away from me, so then I didn't turn into a bad person. And so then maybe that's why I was insecure, and I have a bit like, sometimes I can have a bit of like a hunch, like, please leave me alone, until obviously I get angry. When I get angry, I don't know what happens, like I lose sight of this hunch person. Anyways, let's get into the conversation. The reason why I wanted to introduce that girl on the train for this conversation is because like I could imagine her in love, because that's what I tried to do with all the people that I feel a bit sorry for. Like I tried to imagine them like having this like beautiful love story, and then like all these images started coming to my head of what it would be like to date somebody like her, and I was like, oh my god. So then let's get into the conversation. First of all, what does it feel like to be insecure? And I just want to say, yeah, that people fall in love with these insecure people. Like you could just be the most insecure woman ever, and there would be a guy who will like fall at your feet like, I love you so much, right? We're gonna get into all of that. So being insecure like this doesn't mean that you don't attract men, or you don't attract boyfriends, or you never have boyfriends. Maybe it's the opposite, even though I never have boyfriends. Anyway, so what does it feel like to be insecure? So I have dreams sometimes, yeah, where like I forget how to walk, like, and I become like really like weird, and I can't walk properly, and I don't know like how I'm walking, and I swear that happens sometimes in real life, like where like I become a bit like, oh gosh, people are watching me, and then it's like I forget how to walk. And at one time I was like walking in front of these boys. I was like really young and I had high heels on, and then like they were all gonna like watch me, and I was like, oh, I better like you know, get my walk on, and I fell flat on my face in front of them. yeah, flat on my face. Anyway, so then it's like when we become insecure, we assume, or maybe we are correctly assuming, that somebody has eyes on us and they are judging us in a not so positive way, not so like uplifting way. Like they actually may be embarrassed, or they maybe think that we're doing something wrong, or they just got like some type of like evil eye towards you. And I think what happens in those moments is that we connect to their vision. So what I learned to do is to completely disconnect from your vision. No, your vision's not real. I don't care what you're envisioning. No, it's not real. And that's what I learned to do. But before, I think that we give power to other people's visions, be it negative or positive, by joining them, by looking at what they're looking at. You know, like, oh, there's a dog. Oh, really? Where's the dog? Like, you're joining them and looking with them and in the same direction. And I feel like that's how you give people power. You look with them. You look at what they're looking at. And instead, I start to rebel. I'm like, I'm not looking at what you're looking at. I'm not going to do that. No, you don't exist. Your vision doesn't exist. And so then when somebody starts to like eye you up, and they're eyeing you up in a negative way, you start to look with them. Like, oh, you're eyeing this and you're eyeing that, and oh, okay. And instead you should reject it and be like, shut up, go away. I am me. I stand here with my own vision, not your vision, my vision. And my vision is this. And so then don't look with them. Anyways, we don't do that. And then so then when we join their vision, then we start to feel like, you know, our shoulders go like this, like, oh gosh, it's true. Oh gosh, I am this and I am that. And then you start to like get smaller and smaller, because I was gonna say that this is ugly, but it's not ugly, because actually when the animal walks away and he's like got his hunch and his tail's down and he's like really sad because you didn't give him a treat, even though he's had like 5 like 2 minutes ago, and he walks away all sad. I think it's the cutest thing. I'm like, you're such a drama queen. So I don't really think it's ugly to look this way, but I don't like when my son does it. I don't like it. I'm like, put your shoulders back and, you know, stand up straight. Maybe there's a reason why I push my son to always like stand up straight and you know, get your hair out of your face, please. And I think it's because like I think he does a disservice to himself to think that this is who he is, like this like small thing that's like not worth anything. And it's like, but you're not that though, so stop it. Put your shoulders back, look up. And stop believing that you're like less than. Anyways, God, I think I'm going on here a little bit because I didn't even like conclude. What does it feel like to be insecure? Actually, maybe I did. I think I did. Okay, let's move on to the next point. So why are people insecure? Because like I just said, did I tell my son to be insecure? Did I ever tell my son he's ugly? Did I ever tell my son that he's not good enough? Like, absolutely not. Was I ever big around my son and maybe he felt a bit like intimidated by this big mother? Yes. I don't think that that's why he's insecure though, because like, wouldn't you just join the mother? And he does. Like, he literally has the same thing that I have, and when he wants to, he brings it out like in abundance. So does he, why is he insecure? And maybe it was other people. Did somebody else in the family tell him that, oh, Gabriel, you've put weight on? Yes. Oh, Gabriel, like all these little comments that will maybe make you feel rubbish about yourself. Has he heard them from other members of the family? Yes. So did it matter that I did all my hard work of building this like young man up when other people are talking rubbish in his ears? maybe it's a bit of both. He got some of the bad and he got a lot of the good, and we're going to work with that to make him a great human. I'm not saying I didn't do any mistakes with him, because I surely did. I surely made some mistakes, but I always try to fix my mistakes, like with OCD. I'm like, what did I do wrong today? Did I do something wrong? Gabe, did I do something wrong today? Should we talk about it? Oh, I know some people might see that as really like psychotic, and then some people will be like, well done. Who am I gonna listen to? Not you, you negative person. Sorry, I'm not pointing any fingers. I hate when people do that in videos. Okay, so, but people are insecure because they get given examples as to why they're not good enough, either with people's words or with people's actions. And the worst one, God, I had a dream about it yesterday, where like you fancy a guy and he fancies somebody else. I can't remember the dream properly, but I don't know if in the dream like he was supposed to be with me, so then he knew that I liked him. I thought he liked me too, but then somebody better came along and then he went with her instead and he liked her more, and then they had a relationship in front of me. Like, I bet stuff like that happens all the time. Like, I didn't have things like that in my past because like I didn't have a lot of friends, and I didn't have any boyfriends in school and stuff like that. Like, my boyfriends were like outside of school and they were like outside of my friends group, so I never really had those situations happen to me, but it happened in my dream last night. So there's so many examples. And also children are a bit mean, and all of these things, I think they form very strongly in the childhood, where like children are mean. Like, they will say to you like, oh, what's that on your face? Or, oh, you didn't brush your teeth today? Or, oh, you got something in your hair. Like, everything is even though like I didn't bring up my son to like talk like that. So what is that about? And are we like teaching children, because we're doing it to children, aren't we? Like, when we're saying to them like, oh, what's that? Like, I never said that to my son ever about anything. I never went to my son about anything. And I do notice that these errors that I feel like that parents do, where they're just like, oh, you smelly, because they're trying to be playful with their child. And I'm always sitting there really cringing, like, I don't think you should play like that, because he's learning to have the same humor, and this humor hurts people if you believe them. And a lot of people believe people. I don't know, I think that we're a little bit sick at the moment, so we're not even aware of the things that we're doing. Like, if for example we say, oh, you my little chubby boy, and so then you put the word chubby, and then 2 years later the word chubby is actually a bad word. It's like, oh, my mom called me that all my life, and like, we're not understanding the impact that these like little innocent little moments have, because we're not aware enough of the future, the past, the word meanings and everything. So, and I think because I don't know why, but I was really hyper vigilant, hyper aware. My psychologist reckons that I'm hyper aware like this, and it's a superpower of mine. It's become a superpower of mine because of how much stress I undertook and how much anxiety I dealt with, that I became hyper aware and hyper vigilant. I don't know what the word is. And so then I was very hyper aware of like, what's my son hearing? What's my son taking? What's my son concluding in his head? Is he concluding the right thing? Should I leave him alone? I don't think I should leave him alone. What does he think of that? Like, I was hyper vigilant with my son, and then I became like that with like all beings, like everybody. Like, how am I impacting you? Am I impacting you in a negative way? Or maybe I should go away. Maybe I should be alone because I don't want to impact you in a negative way. And actually, I don't like you, so I'm gonna go over here because I don't want for you to get this negative energy from me that I don't like you. So I'm gonna go over there. Like, I became so hyper sensitive to other people and what I'm giving to them. Anyways, I don't think we have this with our children. So then they grow up insecure, and because other people make them insecure, because they're bringing in all the baggage from all these other families, all bringing it into this one child, like we do with everybody, and then we become insecure because people tell us that we're weird and that we're not good enough and that we're ugly or that we're this or we're that, and then the guy that I like doesn't like me, so then there you go, I am ugly. And look, my friend gets all the boys looking at her, nobody looks at me, of course I'm ugly, and only you know that you're having these thoughts, so nobody can help you with your thoughts. So then you're concluding all by yourself in your private little brain that you are just not good enough, and then so then your shoulders become smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's your life. Oh my gosh, I'm going on here. I think it's because that I had a little monster inside of me for a long time, and I just ignored it. And then eventually the beauty in me came out, as in like, there's a monster in me and there's a beauty in me. I shouldn't call it a beauty, I should call it a, I don't know, butterfly. There's a monster and there's a butterfly, and then the butterfly, just like, I ignored the monster and I let the butterfly grow, and eventually the butterfly took over, and then I was like, oh, monster, what are you? What are you doing there? And then like, here we are today. I'm not a monster. If you ever called me one. So I'm sorry. Right, so let's get into the actual video of what we're actually talking about. Like, when these women get into relationships, what happens? So interesting. Because at first I saw it because I was watching this girl, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. So basically, right, what happens is that somebody falls in love with this girl, right? So she's been through all the pain, she's been through all the suffering, she's concluded that she's not good enough, and then this one guy that she finds attractive, because otherwise she won't let him in, because like then she'll treat him like a toy. But we're talking about a proper falling in love here, not somebody that she's using to like make herself feel, but like she actually is attracted to this guy. She falls in love and she's like, what? And she doesn't want to admit this because like she's a bit embarrassed, right? Because she wants to prove that she's good enough. So then she doesn't go like, what? She goes with it, like, oh, okay. Anyway, so he falls in love with her because obviously she's unique and he falls in love with her uniqueness or whatever it is. They fall in love and she punishes him for it. She punishes him for falling in love with her. Oh no. We don't know that we're doing this. It's not that like, I'm gonna punish you. You're in love with me, I'm gonna punish you. It's like, no, why are you in love with me? I need to understand why you're in love with me. So then you start grilling them. Yeah, but why do you love me? Yeah, but if it was in this situation, would you love me? Yeah, but. Like, we quiz them to death. Why do you love me? And maybe these type of men like the challenge of like, oh, you're making me prove myself here. Okay, I will prove myself. I love you because of this. I love you because of this. And the more they say it to themselves of like proving to you why they love you, maybe the stronger it gets in their head. So then they fall even more in love with you while you're still kind of going, well, I don't believe you. And this is punishing them for it. Like, they love you and you're punishing them for it. You're not giving them an easy time, you're giving them a hard time. You're punishing them for loving you. Because the world has proven to me that I am not lovable, so why do you love me? And I'm going to grill you and test you and put you through hell because you love me. Because it mustn't be true. You must be lying. You must be up to something. And then you see the evidence all the time that they do love you, but then you see one little thing that's like, oh, what's that? And then you start questioning all over again as to why do they love you. And then you ignore them to see how much they push to be with you. You're a bit mean to them. You treat them a bit bad if they come around to your house because you're trying to prove to them and you want them to jump all of the hoops to prove to you that they really do love you. And you want them to read your mind, that you want them to be perfect because they have to prove to you that they are perfect. So you expect them to be perfect and you make them perfect. Meanwhile, you both have no idea why this is happening, that you feel broken inside and you feel so insecure, and you're punishing him for loving you because nobody has done so before. So why does he? And it seems that he does. So then you punish him for it. So then eventually all people break under this type of pressure because it's not very fun to be grilled, to be punished for loving somebody, to be ignored, to be put around hoops after hoops after hoops. You know, one minute you're happy with me, the next minute you're not talking to me anymore. Like, what did I do now? And she doesn't want to tell you her mind. She wants you to read her mind, so she's punishing you for not being able to read her mind, and you don't even know what's going on. You're confused because women are much more complex in her brain than men, and she's there like calculated what you were supposed to do, and it's all just a mess. Like, she's punishing you for loving her, but she doesn't believe it, so she's punishing you. Anyway, so eventually you're gonna break. Yeah, you're gonna be like this. You're gonna be like, okay, I'm broken. Okay, I'm not good enough for her. Okay, I'm never gonna be good enough for her. Okay, I don't like this anymore. This doesn't feel good. Whatever it is that you come to it, and then you decide that you can no longer do this, and then you leave. And guess what she does? She says, I told you. I knew it. See, I knew it. She's not aware of the 2 years that you've been trying your hardest. She's only aware at the point that you've given up. See, I told you. I told you that you didn't love me. See, look, you're giving up. It's so toxic. It's so toxic. But this is what happens when you date somebody who's broken, who hasn't healed through all of these scars. They take it out on you. They punish you for loving them. And instead of all these other things, right? We just punish people, and then we're like, see, when they finally break, see, I told you you don't love me. Anyways, instead of all of that toxicity and hard times and heartbreaking scenarios, instead of all of that, right, we should have classes for children. First of all, how do you build each other up and not tear each other down? What's the importance of that? And then also, if people are not building you up, how do you build, or how can I build you up? So we need to have like adults there to like take over children and be their role models and put things into their heads so then they can be confident. So instead of you being that girl who's like, oh my gosh, nobody fancies me, everybody fancies my friends. Okay, I see you, I see how you're behaving. I'm going to take you away from all of that. I'm going to put you in this classroom with me, and we're going to change all of this. We're going to change your brain. We're going to change how you think of yourself. And guess what? Okay, your friend's pretty. Okay, let her have that. What about you? What do you have? And what environments do you need to be in so you can shine? And what can we teach you about the male brain, or why all of these males are looking at your friend and not you? And what can we learn? And also, what can we teach all of you? So then this doesn't have to be so difficult for everybody or so heartbreaking for everybody. Or is there education where we allow people to like, okay, all you 5 guys like this girl, that's cool. That doesn't mean that I am less than. That doesn't mean nothing about me. And so then we need people to be spoken to. They need words so they can understand their power and their beauty and their relationship to the world, regardless of everything that is going on that tells you that you're not good enough, because it's not correct. Because if you do the work when you're an adult, you get past all of this and then you realize yourself that it's not correct. I wasn't not good enough. I don't know, that was like a double negative there. I don't know if that made sense. And you have your confidence, because if I was a girl where men mostly didn't fancy me and they fancied like other women, and maybe I wasn't so pretty like that girl, I would feel like I just want to detach from all of it. Like maybe I'll stop fancying people, and maybe I wouldn't put importance in fancying people. I'll put importance in other things. And maybe there is a belief that everybody deserves to experience love, and they deserve to experience somebody looking only at them and admiring them. So, and I think this is true. So then I would be like, okay, if you fancy her, you're not for me. Oh, another one that fancies her, nope, not for me. And then the one that come and fancies you, you'd be like, are you the one that's for me? Because he's looking at you. But if he's not looking at you, he's looking at her. No need for jealousy, no need for any connection. Just, okay, you're not for me. We don't have enough education to make people feel okay with what's happening and how they relate to it, and how they are still amazing regardless of what's going on here. And also, are we building our characters? People are attracted to people's characters sometimes, and are we building each other's characters? Are we teaching you like about how great your character is, and let's bring out your character? Or are we just like leaving people to develop on their own, and some of them are struggling, and so then some of them like naturally just fall off and they're just like this quiet one, when really they need attention. So instead of us like having millions of people working in financial industries, let's take all of those jobs away, put them all into schools, and let's start mentoring people. You're falling off, you're feeling insecure, let me come in and be your mentor and walk around with you for a bit. Let's find what makes you amazing, instead of allowing you to just fall off slowly and slowly because that person over there is shining and you don't know how to shine. You don't know how to stand next to that person and shine. Okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to teach you how to shine next to that person. So then it's an equal equilibrium. I don't even know what that word means, and it just came into my head, so I used it. Between all species, no matter if you're beautiful or not as beautiful as that one, yet we all have the same equal playing ground. Because guess what? Yes, you're beautiful, but my character's amazing. Or yes, you have long hair, but I have beautiful eyes. And let's bring out the best of everybody, so then we're all shining and we're not falling off like insecure. And when we find this confidence, so then when somebody falls in love with us, we're like, yes, about time, or cool, welcome. I know why you love me. I don't need to punish you for loving me, because I know why you love me. And if you do something wrong, I know it's not me because I'm amazing. I know it's you and your path, and you weren't supposed to be with me. And yes, we had this brief encounter, and now you're over there doing your thing. Okay, I don't need to punish you for that. I don't need to make myself less than because of your actions, because I have a lot to commemorate inside of myself. I'm saying all of this to you because I channel like some type of like brain knowledge. Where's it come from? My brain. And guess what? I have to talk to myself too, because like I'll forget all of this. I'll be like, and then like I just forget, and then I have to go into the mirror and kind of go, right, Nayna, what's going on? What are we feeling today? Oh, you feeling that, are you? Why are you feeling that? So I also have to mentor myself, but some people are not, they don't even know they can mentor themselves. So we just I'm not talking enough about these things. And so then when you actually have a boyfriend, you don't need to prove anything. You could just be like detached, and if a pretty girl walks past, like, you don't need to be irritated at her, and the guy don't need to be like, oh, I better not look, because it's like you're allowing yourself to be free. Am I gonna go that way? No, not today. Am I gonna go that way? Yes, today. And it doesn't need to break or make anything, because you know your what you are and how amazing you are and what your relationship is to everything else. And you know that if you get stuck, you have this and that to turn to, this mentor and that mentor to turn to. Okay, I'm feeling insecure, something has happened. Okay, let's look at that, let's talk about that. Let me walk with you until we fix this insecurity. And instead we are teaching maths and English in school and science, and we just tell children to be quiet when you see one bullying the other, and then you suspend one and the other. But there's no talking, there's no exploring, there's no teaching. Let's learn what's going on here. None of that happening, is there? I don't know about you, but like, I'm so infuriated with this world. And we don't know, I'm not sure what relationships are about. I don't know. Apart from like the clear, obvious, like, I'm gonna build you, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna give you some pieces. So the exchange of information, the exchange of growth, the exchange of character, because me, I get inspired by everyone that I ever get with, and I just want to be like them. And then I take pieces of them and I add them to my character, even though now it's all just a mess. Like, I don't know what I took from anybody, it's not very clear. But I get really inspired by the people that I'm with. So maybe this exchange is the purpose for relationship, but I'm not sure about the long-term commitment stuff, the monogamy stuff. Like, I don't know what all of that's about. And also, I wouldn't care what all of that's about. I would just enjoy it as we go. But we just tend to like be hurt by things. And is it because we don't have enough mentors? I don't think we have enough information. What to do when you're in love with somebody and then they have to like be 1 week over there? Like, what does it all mean, and what does it look like, and how can you maneuver your feelings, and what are those feelings, and like, where is all the information to help us maneuver life? And do we have too many blocks? Like, so if you do fall in love with somebody completely, like, are you supposed to be allowed to be smitten together, non-separated? You know, when people put rules like, oh no, we shouldn't be too smitten because then it's gonna like fizzle out too quickly. Like, are we supposed to allow that to happen? Like, let it fizzle out then, because isn't that the natural way to not be hurt? So then, yes, we spend every single day together for like 2 years, and then suddenly we both just feel like we need a break, instead of like one feeling like they need a break and the other no, because we both allowed ourselves to both fall deep in, and now we both want a break after 2 years. And then so then nobody's gonna be hurt because you have enough information to understand that that's allowed. And we're so scared of betrayal, of somebody betraying us, somebody like falling out of love with us. I know that this is all happening for a man as well, but I feel like it's just a little bit different with how we deal with it. But I know that they all have the same difficulties, and I did concentrate today on women because of the girl that I saw on the train. But I know we all have this problem, and if we had enough information, enough words, enough understanding, then we wouldn't be scared of betrayal. We wouldn't be scared, because we'd have like mentors to come in and advise us. So like, oh, this is that. Oh, you're feeling that because of that. Is it because of that? You know, like the therapist is helping me right now because she is full of information, full of experience. That's what we need. Instead of you having jobs in the financial world, we need mentors to mentor each other. Let me give you pieces of me and you give me pieces of you, and I'm gonna help build you up and you're gonna help build me up. Like, that's a better game than how this world is spinning right now, right? We help build each other up for free instead of financial games and weirdness. I think there's a way for us to like experience relationships in a really beautiful, meaningful way. We just haven't had enough conversation, enough looking at it, because obviously we're looking at our bills and we're looking at all of these problems. Is somebody gonna come in my house and steal my things? Am I gonna die because somebody's gonna stab me? Like, we're looking at all these other things, when really if this world wasn't so, we will be able to look at the things that need to be looked at. Let's study them. Let's make them accessible. Instead of me putting all of my knowledge into a book and charging you £20 for it, let me put it all up for free on the internet in a video format where we want to watch things today. Let's do that. So then we could build each other up and teach each other things and skills that we need to become confident and healthy humans. So then we can have confident and healthy relationships and understand them fully. Okay. So to conclude my conversation today, I think that we need to treat each other better. So we shouldn't be punishing each other with all of our scars. I'm gonna put my scars on you. We shouldn't punish each other. We should treat each other better. And these relationships that we're having right now are full of scars. And if they are, and if that's the purpose of them, like, oh, let me help you clean your scars. Let's actually be aware that this is what's happening then. Like, we get together to clean each other's scars for now, because eventually there will be no scars, and then the purpose of relationships will change. But for now, the purpose is that I'm coming in to help you clean your scar, to help you get rid of your scar, to help you look at your scar. Okay, that's what relationships are for. Okay, so then I accept you in that way. I don't hold on to you in any other way. And let's just be aware. And I really like the mentoring idea that came in the conversation. Let's do that. So what quote do I have for you today? Stop allowing your own insecurities to color the way you interpret somebody else's intentions. I got that from Pinterest. Is it Pinterest or Pinterest? Stop allowing your insecurities to paint your perception and the way you interpret somebody else's intention. I have to work on that a lot, like especially with my son. Like, am I putting my thoughts onto you? But I know animals do it all the time. Like, they think that I'm coming up to them to kill them, and I'm not. I'll never kill them. I would love to just stroke you, but you don't see that. You think I'm coming to kill you. So our scars really do paint how we interpret what people are doing to us, and we have to look at those scars, and we have to ask people questions, and I would hope that people are honest and answer in honesty of what they're doing, because my son seems to be answering in honesty. I would answer in honesty. So anyways, okay, we're healing this world, don't worry about it. So guys, you're worthy of confidence. You're worthy of the most beautiful relationships, of the most peaceful ones. And if you have loads of scars, you're worthy to heal them, to look through them, to get rid of them, to grow from them. So you're worthy of everything. If somebody falls in love with you, let them. Agree that they should fall in love with you. Wow. Not should, that sounds a little bit like weird. It's like when somebody says, I like chocolate. I understand why you like chocolate. So I understand why people fall in love with you. You're tasty. I don't know, okay, whatever. You get what I mean. And you know, pull people up for their behaviors. Tell them what they're doing to you. Tell them how they're making you feel. Tell them. And if they throw it back like, oh, this is about me and you're making it about you, you have to tell them, no, it's about the both of us. And if I'm struggling because you're struggling, then it's about the both of us. So let's talk about the both of us, not just you, but the both of us. Yeah, some people need a lot more teaching than they have. And so then maybe you should break up if they don't have enough teaching to match yours and you struggle too much instead of making progress, and let's break up. Because I know that a lot of females, they're so like, rah! And like guys just get a bit scared, like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I feel like these females, they need mentors. They need to understand what they're feeling and why they're feeling it. And guys need to understand, and we just need mentors, okay? So until next time, I have had fun talking about this conversation. I will be a mentor myself. I'm excited to be a mentor to my niece. I'm gonna make her a great woman, because I don't have a daughter, I have a son. Anyways, I'll be back, okay? Have a good evening, day, night, whatever. Have a good sundown. Alright, bye.